Whoa, how the Catholic Church can make a comeback. Here we go. Top 5 reasons. Like and subscribe. I am your host, DJ Tony. Okay, by the way, nobody's more Catholic than me, okay? I grew up in the Catholic Church. I was a CCD teacher. I taught in Catholic high school, okay? I was a Teacher of the Year selection in the Catholic Church here in a region of New Jersey. I have a history degree, so I know a little bit about the Catholic faith. And it's a beautiful faith. However, it's sad because you see that, depending on which study you want to read, Catholics arguably make up the largest religion on earth, maybe, but then I don't know. They also say there's studies that Catholics are leaving the church or don't go to church. They call them lukewarm Catholics. Maybe they show up, but they're not really there. And I don't know about you, but when I go to Catholic church, it seems like a funeral, even when it's Christmas. It's just, now that's the church part of it though. So, but what can the Catholic Church do to get more people to come to church? Because I've been to many, many churches all over the world, Catholic churches, in different states and whatnot, and it's kind of like the same old thing. It's like, this is not good, man. This isn't looking good. We love our grandparents and all, but it's kind of like our grandma and grandpa's church. That's not good for the future. I get it. Young people who are there. I see teenagers at church too, and young people, but mostly it's not. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. When you have other denominations or other churches or other religions packing their houses. And, you got to look. And we know that Catholic churches and schools are closing left and right, and there's reasons for that. But I mean, what can we do? What can we do to help the Catholic Church make a turnaround? And it can happen, but we have to want to do it. And here's a tip. What are the two middle letters of the word church? You are. Me and you. We are. You are. Right? So we can only look to bishops and cardinals and the Pope and priests for so much. They can't do everything. They're not God, but we kind of treat them as such. And really, so for instance, okay, number 3, what we can do is, now I'm not saying touch the mass. I get it. We don't want to touch the church service. That's a whole nother show. We're not going to touch the church service, although it should be, modified and take. I get it. We're not going to do that. It's going to be the same old as it was for thousands of years. Got it. But for instance, one quick fix that could really make a big impact, because for most Catholics, I know not you, and I know the Catholic church you go to is just amazing. Everyone's packed in the house at all times, lying around the block. I get it. Then there's reality. Most Catholic churches, it's this, ready? You go into church, it's an hour, 13 minutes, and 4 seconds, and everyone just gets out of there. Boom, goodbye. No. Now, I understand, and there's some churches that do this. My old church used to, but doesn't. I don't know if they do it anymore, but most don't. And that is, after church service, number 1, Father, the priest, should stand outside and not only say goodbye to everybody, but before he leaves, say, hey, everyone, please join us downstairs in the rectory, or join us in the gym, or join us in the yard, or join us in the front. Join us for some, donuts and coffee. I like to get to know everybody. The priest should do that, or the deacon or the sisters. You can't just, because most Catholic church services, I know not the one you go to, but everybody else's, most Catholic church services are just transactional. I go in, I punch in, and Father, Son, Holy Spirit, how you doing? Peace be with you, and I'm out. Peace. No, it should be a continuation. So it's not just I go to church, but it's, hey, afterwards we're having coffee and donuts. The families get to know each other. Now, not everybody's going to go after church, but many will. And this is the chance where the father, the priest, the deacon, the sister, whoever can say, please join us. And this is the first big step. Now we're making connections. Now, hey, how are you? I know your birthday. I know who you are. I know your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your cousin. I'm connecting. And now the families are connecting. So that's incumbent upon the church to do that. That should be a universal from the Pope down. Every single church, I don't care if you're in a jungle or you're in a wealthy part of New York City, should be having after church connection, whatever you want to call it, coffee, donuts. This is the part where you say, there's not enough money. So volunteer then. Volunteer to make some coffee. What? Volunteer to bring some donuts. And everybody every week either makes some stuff or you bring some stuff. What? Plenty of opportunity there. Again, you can't look at it has to be the church that does everything. You step up. What? You and your friends chip in, like, and get the father to join. That's the key right there. We're missing the connection. It can't be just about the church service. And I get it. The church service is important. It's the Mass. It's how we honor God and the Virgin Mary and St. Peter and St. Paul and St. Michael. I get that. But after church service is done, then what? So you got to keep the flock together. That's number one. Number two, I would say there should be, and I know some churches have this, but a lot of churches don't, especially like a youth group that meets weekly. Now, we had that for a while in my old church when I was a kid, and it was great. Every Thursday we got together, and that was nice because it was just a way to kind of relax, do life together, get to know each other, and just, we didn't do much. Maybe just had some chips and soda and everyone got together. We played board games. Like, it doesn't have to be a lot of money. It could be just get together and watch television, Catholic programming, something, you know what I mean? And that was great. And sometimes we would go on field trips, whatever. But and you got your CCD, but that's again, that's educational. That's not bad, but like, there has to be more fellowship, more connection, more opportunity to literally break bread, right? I mean, that's important. So, a youth group, a men's group, a woman's group, same thing. You meet up once a week or once every other week, and you go out for coffee. You go to the diner. It doesn't have to be like, we're the Knights of Columbus, and now we will read the... It's just relax, man. Let's just do life, man. Let's just get together. You can do a prayer group. You could do Bible study, God forbid. I know Catholics don't like the Bible. But anyways, something where you're coming together. The priest can do that, or you the parishioner, ask the priest, hey, can we do this? Make an announcement at the end of church, like, hey, you're going to sign up with John in the back there. If you're interested, we'd like to have a Bible study or a prayer group, whatever. That's another one that's important. Afterwards, coffee, donuts after each church service. You got some kind of class or some kind of fellowship or some kind of men's group or women's group. It's so necessary. What else? You have, I was going to say, you could do charity stuff, which is fine. And I know that it's popular to do stuff where it's like, we're going to help that other, we're going to help those people in that poor country build a hut, build a house. You know what? There's people that are needing it, though, more here in America, believe it or not. Just because you drive a Mercedes doesn't mean you're doing well, okay? I would make the argument there's many well-to-do Catholics in our country here that are rotting from within worse than the people living in the jungle who need the help. Don't be fooled by material wealth. This is a spiritual war. So, I think, we should concentrate more on the home front and less on that other country that needs it. We need it here more, actually. I would make the argument. But, first, charity starts at home. What do you think? Put it in the comment section below. I feel like, oftentimes it's just very transactional. Hail Mary, full of grace, and that's it. Like, the true community is, in addition to that, breaking bread, having coffee and donuts, having a lunch, having a dinner, just for the sake of having it, getting together, having a play group with the kids. Like, that's so important. Maybe having someone, because I think also oftentimes, as Catholics, looks to the deacon, the father, the nun, like those are the three people. If you're not a deacon, father, or a sister, can't do shit. No, the Protestants and other religions too, they're so good at connection because it's we the people. People step up. But Catholics tend to be more like, nah, we delegate. It's got to be the father, a sister, or a deacon. If it's not them, nobody else knows how to help people. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, no, you can do. My grandmother used to have Tuesday night rosaries at her house in New Jersey. We had there was whatever, I don't even know, 9, 10, 11, 12 people, 13, 14 people that would come to the house and have to have coffee and cake. That's great. But wouldn't that be nice if the father at the end of Mass said, hey, don't forget, we're having rosary signups. Please host this at your house once a week. You can see Michelle and John or Mark in the back. They'll be taking sign-up sheets. Get your email and phone number. We'll put you on there and you can how great would that be? You know what I'm saying? And again, that's facilitated when you have the coffee and donuts with Father making the announcement at the end of each service to join him. This is how you have this brain trust and this think tank, and you facilitate. You can't put everything on priests. We have to step up. Yeah. Now those are the easy lifts that we can do. No one debates it, nothing like that. Now you want to debate stuff, we could debate, should priests be married, this and that, da, da, da. In a way, we're kind of leaning towards that. Priests are kind of being married because what we're doing is we're letting deacons do a lot of the co-lifting of a priest. So they're not priests, wink, wink, but they're doing a lot of the stuff that the priests used to do. So, there's a loophole, you know what I mean? So we don't want to, still hold on to our, and if you know church history, for about 1,000 years, the first 1,000 years approximately of the Catholic Church, priests could be married. So priests not being married is a relatively new law. So that would be good too if priests could get married. But the little ones, the quick fixes and the big things that will make a big impact is that the fellowship after church, the Bible studies, the youth groups, the senior groups, the connecting each other, and I'm sure there's some Catholic churches that do that out there, but most don't. So these are easy things that we can do that don't take any kind of, big, vote or big, paradigm shift. No. Anyways, what do you think? Huh? Comment section below.